This is Lesson 4 on page 129, Creating Forms. You have worked with data through tables and queries in Microsoft Office Access, and now you will see how to use forms to access data. Forms present the data in an interface that makes it easier to view. In this lesson, you will create a form and then experience how it can improve the way users work with data. In this lesson, you will create and enhance a form. Topic A on page 130, starting a new form. Forms display and change data, accept new data, and interact with the user. A carefully designed user interface dramatically reduces the training required of new users. Most often, data displayed in an access form is bound to a table or multiple tables. Changes made to data through a form change that same data stored in the underlying tables. There are different options and methods for creating forms you should be familiar with. All of your ways to create forms are on the Create tab of your ribbon, and they're listed in your Forms group. The Form option creates a form that automatically includes all the fields in the selected table or query. So if I needed a form for my table departments, I could single click on that, just select it, and then hit my Form button, and then it's automatically going to create a form based on that particular table. So the only options here are department and appliance. The only options here are what department is going to be listed. Because if I open table departments, obviously those are all the inputs there, is what department it's going to be. All right, let me close these tabs out. The next option on your Create tab is your form design. Here you start with a blank form in Design View and then add your components manually. Your blank form, you start with a blank form in Layout View and add components manually. And then your Form Wizard. This creates a form by selecting the tables or queries to use as the data source and selecting each field to be included in the form. So we'll see an example of that in our next activity that's coming up. I have two forms created here, Form Suppliers and Form Inventory. I'm going to open up the Form Inventory. So this is a form created based on your table inventory. You can see all fields here from table inventory. If I switch to Design View on my form, this view divides the form into three sections. You have your header section, your detail section, and then your footer section. The header includes information that would appear at the top of the form. Typically, this includes the form title. So this is based on table inventory. The detail section, which has all of your fields, includes the record data itself. And then the footer section could include information that you want to appear at the bottom of the form, such as page numbers, maybe dates, something along those lines. All right, and then you have your three form views. So we saw this was the design view. Here you create or modify elements of a form. In this view, you can add and delete form elements and set your properties. Then your other views include your form view. This is where you add, edit, and move among your records. And then your last view is your layout view. Here's where you create or modify a form layout. This view presents data similar to the form view. It does look the same, but it enables you to change the form design similar to design view. This is optimized for making changes to the form's layout, such as resizing and rearranging form elements. All right, so your exercise coming up, your activity, that's going to be activity 4.1 on page 132, and you will be creating a form by using the form wizard.